Hey everyone, it's Carissa at Sprinkled with Glitter. Thanks for stopping by today. Today I'm going to show you how to make some really awesome foiled die cuts. I'm going to be using these toner sheets from the ThermoWeb Deco Foil line. I have both the peel and stick and the regular toner sheets. When you're creating really super intricate die cuts like I'm going to be doing today, I recommend the peel and stick. If you're going to use something a little bit larger and you want to use some foam adhesive behind it or something like that anyway, you could get away with the regular toner sheets. I prefer the peel and stick. It just makes my life easier, but we'll show you more about that in just a bit. I'm going to be using these cardstock pieces here. I've downloaded a printable from Etsy, and I will link that in the description below. And I've just put them onto a file in my computer and printed 2 on a page for a card base. If you cut this down the middle, this will make 2 A2 size cards. Or you could put 4 on a sheet like I just showed you, and those could be card fronts that then you would later attach to a card base. Now, because my laser printer does not print all the way off the edge, it doesn't do a full bleed, these are going to be a little bit smaller than an A2 size card, and you'll see that here in just a bit. I'll kind of walk you through because I have a little gutter along the edge where my printer won't print. So I've started by trimming this piece of cardstock down the center. This is Nina Desert Storm cardstock. It's a nice craft colored cardstock. I trimmed it down the center at 4 1/4. That gives me 2 pieces of cardstock that are 4 1/4 by 11. Now, normally you would score these at 5 1/2, and that would give you 2 top folding A2 size cards. But because I have this little gutter where it didn't print, I want this image to be like a full bleed image. I want it to bleed off the front of the card. So I'm just lining those gutters up along that rail of my trimmer there. I can see exactly where I'm cutting, and then I'm just cutting those little bits off. Now, once I've got that all trimmed on the edges, I'm going to flip this around, and I'm just going to trim the length of this card down to 10 1/2. That makes it easy for me to score at 5 1/4. I think the finished dimensions of my card ended up being like 4 or 4 1/8 by 5 1/4. Somewhere around there. But you can either trim off those edges or you can leave them. So I took it over to my scoring board and I scored it at 5 1/4 with my Teflon bone folder. And then I just creased the fold with that Teflon bone folder to create my card. Now, here's where the die cutting comes in. I have this Celebrate die. This is from Neat and Tangled. Because it is such an intricate die, and I'm cutting through a little bit thicker paper here with some adhesive on the back, I've gone ahead and switched my cutting sandwich. The bottom plate is the precision base plate. That helps me get really great clean cuts on thicker cardstock, especially if it's adhesive backed like that. So I've cut it out of the peel and stick toner sheets from Deco Foil, and that gives me my beautiful die cut that's all ready to foil. Now, I did want to mention all of these card bases that I created were printed on a laser printer because you do need that toner to react with the heat and the foil in order for the foil to bind. A inkjet printer will not work, but you can go ahead and design these files on your computer and take them to any like Kinko's store or Staples office supply stores and have them printed there, and they have toner-based copy machines and printers. So now I'm just cutting down the pieces of foil that I need. For my sentiment, I'm going to be using this beautiful pewter-colored foil here. I just thought it was a nice kind of masculine. It's very like almost gunmetal looking. And since I was going more for like a masculine card here, I know foil, shiny, masculine may not always fit your idea of a masculine card, but I think this makes a beautiful masculine card when it's all said and done. So for the sentiment, I am using that pewter foil. And for the card base, that sunburst or starburst image, I am using rose gold foil. It looks very coppery. It's beautiful with this pewter. And what I've done is I've just put my pieces into a piece of regular typing paper. I've put the pretty side up so that the back silver side is touching the toner of my printed or die cut images. And then I'm going to run this through my laminator. Now, this is the Royal Sovereign laminator. I am using the 5 mil setting. I've let it heat up and get really good and hot, maybe about 10 to 15 minutes. And then I'm just going to put this carrier sheet that I created out of typing paper through the laminator. Now, when I'm certain all of the pieces have gone through that have printing on them, I can go ahead and use that release lever in the back to pull that piece out so I don't have to wait for the bottom of that card to go all the way through since there's no printing. You can see here I moved my foil, and so I didn't get this whole thing foiled, but that's okay. I'll redo that here in a bit, but you can see the beautiful foiled result that you get on that intricate die cut. Now, here's where the magic happens. When you pull off those foils, I mean, it is like magic. It's like Christmas morning. Everything is so shiny, and I just think it is magical to see the way that foil binds to that toner. So this card, you could either do sideways and have a side folding card, or you could have a top folding card. I'm going to be doing the top folding card option today, and I'm going to do a couple more of these die cut sentiments here. I used the pewter once again. I put the toner where it was facing the back side of the foil, so the dull silver side of the foil. The pretty side is always up. And then I'm going to show you these sentiments here when you do it correctly and your foil doesn't shift around on you. So here's my completed sentiment. Remember, because I use the peel and stick toner sheets, there's already adhesive on the back. So this die cut set comes with a shadow piece as well. I've used that shadow piece to cut out a piece of vellum. I've taken off the backer sheet on the back of that die cut to expose the adhesive, and then I'm just going to place that onto the shadow piece there. That's just going to help it kind of pop out from the card. It's going to give it a little bit more weight, and I'm also going to use that to my advantage to hide a little bit of adhesive. Now I'm using a clear tack or a Cool Tack clear foam adhesive here to adhere my sentiments onto my card front. I'm going to use a double layer of these. These are the Cool Tack squares. I actually prefer the Cool Tack clear foam roll, but I don't know what happened to mine. So I'm going to link the roll in the description at YouTube as well as over at my blog for the supplies, because I really prefer, it's a little bit thicker and I just feel like a little easier to work with than these squares. So once I have my clear foam adhesive on the back of those die cuts, those stacked up die cuts, I'm going to go ahead and remove the backer and place it onto my card front right in the middle of that starburst. And if you wanted to leave it there, you could. I wanted to add a few sequins to this because this takes it from masculine birthday card to perfect New Year's card with a few sequins on it. Now, if the guy in your life doesn't mind a few sequins, you can totally put sequins on the birthday card. But you can see that this Celebrate card, you can really use it for any celebration throughout the year. Birthdays, anniversaries, New Year's, babies, you name it. Change the colors and it's perfect for anything. So I thought I'd go ahead and take one of these white card bases and use that amazing rainbow foil. I did kind of tilt it at an angle so that I wouldn't have like these definite stripes of color going across my sunburst. And then I finished that off the same way that I did the first card. Now, I was experimenting here and I used this aqua foil on this craft cardstock and it looked beautiful as well. And I thought that was really fun and something a little bit different to try different colored foils on this craft cardstock. You could even switch out the craft cardstock for another colored cardstock and put some foil on those. As long as you're using a laser printer and you're printing with toner on these, you could really use whatever kind of paper or cardstock that you want. So I thought I'd show you that I did get a little smarter as this went on, and I trimmed around the edges of these cardstock pieces, the bottom edge and the side edge, before I cut them down the center. That just saved me a little bit of cutting. And I made several of these cards here. You can see the finished product. These foils just shine like nothing else you have ever seen. I love the results. I love that rose gold on that craft cardstock, but I wanted to show you some of the other combinations that I created as well. You can see I have the pewter foil on the one on the left, and for the aqua foil on the craft card base, I decided to go ahead and use a champagne colored foil to create my die cut sentiment there. Now, I know some of you are going to ask, have you tried foiling the piece of toner sheet before you die cut it? I did, and I found that I got better results if I die cut the toner sheet first and then added the foil. So that's something that you can play around with, but I do recommend die cutting before you foil. So here's a look at the completed card projects. As always, I will have links to all the featured products in the description at YouTube, and I will have a complete list of products over at my blog at sprinkledwithglitter.com, where you can see more still shots and find more information. And there just may be a giveaway of some of these fabulous deco foil supplies over there as well. So be sure you check that out. I will link it in the description here at YouTube. Thanks for stopping by today. I hope you enjoyed these projects. I hope you're inspired to create some more masculine cards, or maybe some cards for the new year. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day.